You know that voice in your head that whispers at you? The voice that says things like, your writing's not good enough, this story isn't good enough, who am I to be writing this story? Yeah, we all know the voice. That's imposter syndrome, or I've heard it called writer's doubt. This video is going to be about that voice, and why I actually think it's not as much of an enemy as we perceive. In fact, I think you can leverage that to be a creative superpower. And by the end of this video, I'll show you the one mindset shift that I made that helped me go from doubting every single line to finishing entire projects with confidence and clarity. Hey, if you've never seen me before, I'm Colby. I'm a writer of fantasy and science fiction who is aspiring to publish a book one day. Let's talk about imposter syndrome. It shows up in hundreds of ways. Feeling like a fraud, fearing rejection, comparing yourself to other writers. Sometimes it can feel like that tightening your chest when you think about sharing your work with others. It can even be rewriting the same sentence over and over and over again to try to get it perfect so you don't hate it as much. Or just staring at your draft and thinking, this is trash. Sometimes it can be triggered by something, maybe a harsh critique, a rejection letter, an inability to finish that project, or even like scrolling on YouTube and seeing an overnight success story. But here's the truth. Imposter syndrome doesn't mean that you're failing. It means that you're invested. Here's something that honestly blew my mind when I figured it out. If you've ever listened to some of your favorite authors talk at podiums or panels, almost every single one of them has dealt with imposter syndrome, or even sometimes still does. I'm talking about people who have published dozens of books and had worldwide success, and they still feel it. So this self-doubt doesn't prove that you're not a good writer. It proves that you care. It means that you're pushing yourself and that you want to get better. It means that what you're doing matters to you. So if you take a step back to realize that, you can actually use it to help you. And here's how. Doubting your work can sometimes make you ask better questions. It can challenge yourself. It forces you to examine it more deeply. It shows you where you want to grow. If you're feeling really cruddy about your prose, that's an opportunity to work on your prose. If you feel like your dialogue isn't good enough, that's a chance to work on your dialogue. It can be a guiding pointer like a compass, showing you where your work for you feels like it needs to improve. An opportunity. And that's where the transformation can begin. But I want to be clear. Imposter syndrome can feel crippling, and I don't think that you should go through it alone. I think you should share with people how you're feeling, whether that is, a licensed psychologist, psychiatrist. If it's to that level, talk to somebody. There's people out there who would love to help you. Now, let's try to turn that inner critic into fuel. Here's some ways to help. Number one, start with some positive affirmations. I'm serious. Read a passage and pick out things that you like about it. If you read a chapter and your first initial reaction is, that sucks, that's normal. That's okay. Read it again. Find things that you're excited about. Find lines that you're really proud that you wrote, that you created. Take a step back. Realize that that chapter did not and would not exist if not for you. That is so cool. Remind yourself of those things regularly. Another thing you could do is set achievable goals. If you feel like you're not a good writer, that's okay. Set some goals to improve that, whether it's word count, whether it's chapter length, whether it's prose, whether it's dialogue. Set some achievable, realistic goals that you know you can complete in a short time frame for this, so that way you compound wins. When you start compounding wins, that's when you build confidence, and that voice will get a little bit quieter. The third thing, seek some feedback, but from the right people. If you're in a really vulnerable time and your writer's doubt is really loud in your head, don't send your work to someone who you know is going to tear it apart. Other stages in your life or in your confidence levels, that can be super helpful. They can really break it down and improve you as a writer. But if you're struggling, send it to people that you know are going to tell you they love it. There are people like that in your life that are going to give you your flowers every time, and they're super helpful and super important. Sometimes that's all you need to break out of a cycle of self-doubt. And number 4, keep learning. Take a step away from your project. Read some other books about writing. Read some other books just in the genre that you like to read. Analyze it while you're doing it. Do some creative adjacent things. Play some TTRPG, do some crafts, do some drawing. That stuff can sometimes spark creative flame and get that voice in your head to stop talking as loud, so then you can refocus on your work. But here's a major thing. Doubt drives in isolation. You're usually writing by yourself when no one's around. But the whole project itself does not need to be, and I highly recommend you do not do it alone. I've talked about this several times, but join a writing group or seek feedback like we talked about. But here's the mindset shift. This is, I think, the point of this video. Let's say you have an idea for a book, something that you've never read before that you think would be really cool to read. So you start writing it. At some point in the process, you start to feel bad. You feel like it's not good. You feel like, why would anyone ever read this? Take a step back. If it wasn't for you, this story would never exist. It would have never in a million years came into the world in the way it is now. Think about how cool that is. Seriously, you had an idea, you put it into words onto a page, and you told a story. That is something that most humans will never achieve. So even if you feel like it's not good, you kidding me? You wrote a story. How awesome is that? You should be proud. And if this book doesn't ever get onto the shelf, it still lives in your heart, it lives in your mind, and if you do share it with the people in your life that are important to you, it lives with them. That story will never die, and that's an amazing, beautiful thing. So the shift, take "you're not good enough" to "I am enough, and this is special." I'm not saying that voice is going to go away. I feel it sometimes. I feel it a lot. But more than that, I feel that fulfillment that I get when I'm being creative. And I let that drive. I let the other thing take a back seat. It's possible and it's doable. And I know you can do it. If you felt like this resonated with you, subscribe to the channel. I'll have other videos like this. And I'll also have videos where I really break down practical and actionable ways to create a sustaining and fulfilling life as an aspiring author while having a full-time job and a busy life. Okay guys, until next time, keep writing.